Hi guys, welcome to vesnasstv DIY. For today's episode, I am upcycling this thrifted side table. I purchased this on Facebook Marketplace for $10. I actually have a set of them. They were $20 for the set, but I'm just doing the one for now. And what I wanted to do originally was I wanted to just paint it and not do anything else with it. Then I found that these imperfections that it had were actually making the paint kind of look gunky. So then I decided I was going to sand it all down and stain the top. However, when I was sanding it down, I could not get all of the little corners and everything without having to take apart, and that's kind of beyond my ability. So then I decided that I was going to go ahead and just paint it with this Coco chalk paint after I sanded it down somewhat, just so that the imperfections were gone and the paint would have somewhere to stick. Now I don't have a lot. Let me see if you guys can see. I don't have a ton in here, so I'm going to dilute it in a little bit of water to make it go a little bit further. And then I will be using the Rustoleum charcoal for the bottom. So what I'm actually doing is I'm painting the top part in the Coco and just the sides of it as well. And then the bottom part, because it's kind of like a two level side table. So the bottom part I'm painting in this Coco as well. And kind of I want it to look like the frame is one color and then the tabletops are a different color. And because I told you I wanted to go with that wood look, I decided to do the Coco, and then I'm going to be adding some waxes on top, which will make it kind of look brown, but not wood grain. But when you see this finished product, it's going to look amazing. You're going to love it. So because I did sand it down, I only needed one coat of the Coco paint. Now you technically don't have to sand down when you're using the chalk paint. However, I found that it sticks a little bit better if you do sand it down. So when you're applying your wax, you don't take off the paint. So if you have the time, if you have the patience, give it a nice rough sanding so the paint sticks better. You don't have to use a primer. You totally could if you wanted to have that even better durability. But once you apply all of your waxes, it'll be pretty durable. And you can always use a coat of some sort of a varnish on top that will protect the paint. Not varnish, like a protective spray. So the brush that you see me using is actually an Annie Sloan brush. And it's fabulous. It's fantastic. It works amazing. The bristles stay on. I've had this brush for many, many years, and it's kind of pricey, but it's well worth the cost. We only have one store that sells, well, we have a few, but none of them are in our town. So the one store that I prefer going to for Annie Sloan stuff is a little bit further out, and because of all of our restrictions, they've been kind of closed on and off. That is why I've gone with some paints from Rustoleum that are like the chalk paints. But I really do like the Annie Sloan paint. I find that the Rustoleum is pretty comparable. I feel like the Annie Sloan goes a little bit further, and the waxes are like completely different in texture, so it's hard to compare them. I really like the black wax and the dark wax from Annie Sloan, but I also really enjoy that Rustoleum glaze. It's just they're completely different. The waxes from Annie Sloan are like waxes, so that you kind of like you put them on and you rub them off, and it's a waxy texture. Whereas the Rustoleum, it's just a decorative glaze, so it actually tints your paint color like after you've painted it, but it doesn't give that protection like the clear wax does from Annie Sloan, if that makes sense. But it has a different purpose. The antique wax from Annie Sloan doesn't protect either. But anyway, different textures, so it just depends what you like working with better. So now I'm painting the sides of this piece in the charcoal black from Rustoleum, and you can see it goes on nicely as well. And the only key to all of this is before you apply any of your waxes or any kind of painter's tape, because you see that I left like a little bit of the Coco on the bottom, I'm going to have to change that. I'll have to use some painter's tape just to have a nice even line. But anytime you're using it, make sure you give it time to dry. Chalk paint does dry fairly fast. I would say about an hour and it's dry, but if you want it to be fully dry where you don't have to go back and touch things up, because when you're applying the wax, give it a few hours for it to dry completely. I mean, if you have a day or overnight, let it. You don't need to, but give it a few hours so it's nice and dry. Make sure nothing is wet because when you will go to apply the wax, it'll take off the paint too. And what I like about all of these paints is that you just need soap and water to wash your hands off. And same with the brushes, you just need some warm water to get rid of the paint. So that's awesome. So I did find with the charcoal paint, I did have to go back and kind of touch things up. Now, I don't know if it's just because I kind of wiped it off the piece wasn't as sanded, so when I applied the paint, it kind of slid off, or if it's the quality of the paint. I kind of thought about that. I'm not sure. I can't tell you which one it is just because the side of the piece wasn't as sanded as the top of the piece. But it would have been interesting if I had some of the black from Sloan to just kind of try it on the other table and see how it works. But anyway, so I applied the paint and I did have to go back and touch it up for the black. But again, it was just one coat. It's just that I had to touch it up in a few spots. So I guess it was like 1.5 coats. And then I let it all dry. So I did wind up using just a small brush to fix up and touch up the little spots where I couldn't get with my big brush and in between the curves and stuff like that. So that's the only kind of downfall of the big brush is you can't get into the little grooves, but then you just take a small brush and do what you need to do. So I was really happy with how this piece turned out. I thought it was really nice as it is, but I still wanted that extra touch of antique, and I wanted this top to be more brown than kind of the light beige. So I'm starting with the Rustoleum Decorative Glaze in Java. Make sure you wear gloves when you apply this one because it does stain your hands quite a bit. And I'm applying it just with a rag, and I'm basically applying it and rubbing it off right away and just kind of rubbing it in there. Do it gently so you're not scrubbing so hard that your wax is coming off. So I do wind up glazing the sides as well, where the black part is. I wasn't going to originally, but then I did it by accident and I liked the way it looked. So this is what it came out to once I did all of the sides and everything. Then I went and I fixed up where my wax kind of took off the paint. That's what I was telling you, to let it dry completely. And then I added this Sloan black wax, and I'm using just a wax brush that I picked up at Lowe's or Home Depot or something like that. It was about 5 years ago, so I don't remember. And it was a natural bristle brush. That's what I was looking for. And I'm applying it with the brush and then wiping it off with the wax. And I do it all over the piece again on the tabletops and on the sides. And I don't wind up kind of reapplying the dark glaze onto the parts where I touched it up. I thought it was fine just to add the black wax. And after I finish this, then that's where you do your protective stuff. I will be going to purchase a protective spray, and I can't do that until it's nice out, so I'm not showing you that part. I can add it in the comments once I spray it which one I wind up with. I'm just going to Home Depot and seeing what they have. I was going to use the clear wax, but I wanted to give a spray a try just because I haven't tried it before. And the problem is that it's really cold outside, so I can't open windows or anything like that to air it out. And I want to kind of do this in my garage. I can't do it when it's minus 30 outside, so minus 30 Celsius for those of you in the States. Um, so I can't do it when it's that cold outside. So I'll just wait. These are going to kind of sit for a little while anyway. I haven't decided where they're going, whether I'm going to try and sell them or I'm going to gift them to somebody. I don't know what I'm doing with them. I really love them. I had purchased them originally to put in my family room once we convert my living room, which is right now a playroom, into a living room, and then this will go in the family room. But that's not happening for a few years. So, but I was eager to get them painted. So I might sell them. We'll see. Or gift them to someone. I'm not sure. But anyway, that's all there is to it. It has a few steps. I still have to fix up the sides there where you see the little Coco that's kind of going into the black, but I will just touch that up with some painter's tape and just a small brush. And that's all there is to this piece. It's not very hard to do. It did not cost a lot. I mean, the paint I had on hand, if you didn't have the paint on hand, it would cost you, a couple bucks for the paint. But you can also buy small sample paints. You don't have to buy the big paint cans. But I love the way this piece looked. And these pieces, I mean, it's a solid wood piece that was made in Canada, which is awesome. And it's very sturdy, very durable, and now it has been given new life, and it looks like a high-end, expensive piece probably that you could get at, any of the stores that sell kind of French provincial stuff for a couple $100. I was looking online, so per table, and I paid $20 for the two of these, which is awesome. Anyway, I hope you like this. Here it is, completely finished and styled. I am in love, and like I said, I don't know that I want to sell it, but let me know what you think. I did not paint the little handle on the drawer. I left it as it is. I just cleaned it up and I love it. So let me know what you think. Let me know if you love thrifting as much as I do. All of my furniture in my house, except for my couches and my mattresses, are all thrifted or handmade, including my bed frame. So thank you so much for watching. I'm going to have one more video of a table that my neighbor was throwing out in the garbage and I wheeled it over to my house. So I'm going to try and finish that this week and have it posted for you for Sunday. It all depends on the weather because I will be priming the tabletop for that one. So I do need to have some windows open. And with Sloan, the ventilation is enough if it's a little bit, but with primer, I like to have my windows open quite a bit. So anyway, I hope to see you on Sunday. I will have it done for you, like fingers crossed. I will let you know if I don't, but I'll have another video then instead. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you would display this in your house. And leave me a comment. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. And I hope you enjoyed this as much as I did. Thanks. Bye.